If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. So, you just got Madden 22 for your Christmas, but you have no idea what you're going to be doing in Ultimate Team. Well, hopefully in this video I can answer those questions and give you a guide on what you guys could be doing to help get you guys started on making your best possible team for Madden 22. Alright, hey there guys, Adrian DaCosta here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video, and in this one, let's go over everything you need to know about Madden 22's Ultimate Team. Now, this video is being recorded 2 weeks before Christmas because, well, I know for a fact I'm not going to be home for Christmas. I'm going to be definitely at my fiance's parents for the day, and I more than likely won't be getting home until late in the evening, which means it'll be probably 9 o'clock, give or take 10, and by that point, normally I'm just so exhausted, I don't even feel like doing anything except going to bed. So, this video is going to be made 2 weeks beforehand, so if you see these new legends here, for example, don't get mad at me because they're not the current legends that are coming out that are out in the game. So, with that being said, guys, let's get over everything you need to know in this video. We're going to go from lineup construction, abilities you should be rocking, what challenges you should be doing, and also a little bit of tips and tricks along the way to help get you started on your lineup creation. Be it your team's favorite team's theme team, be it your team's your favorite team of your favorite players, whatever type of thing you need to, whatever type of lineup you need to run. My God, I cannot speak. This video is going to be covering everything. So, with that being said, guys, let's go into the team itself. Now, as you see at the recording of this video, I have a 91 overall. I am rocking a Seattle Seahawks theme team. So, first, let's talk about lineup construction. Now, there is such a thing as called theme team. So, if you are new to Madden, basically, theme teams are teams that have a bunch of players that all get the same team chemistry, be it for me the Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Golden State, San Francisco 49ers, any player from that specific team, if they get that specific team chem, they can fit on that theme team. So if we go for DK Metcalf here, for example, he just gets Seattle Seahawks chem, so he only goes on the Seahawks theme team. But if you go to a player like, say, for example, let's find Jerry Rice, for example. If you go to Jerry Rice, for example, we go to his team chemistries, he gets 3 team chemistries. He gets San Francisco 49ers, Las Vegas Raiders, and Seattle Seahawks chem. So, with these team chems, you actually get little boosts if you get every 5 players you get. So at 5 out of 50, you get a +1 to all your players with that team's chem for strength. My God, I cannot speak, guys. I apologize. But at 5 out of 50, you get a +1 for strength. 10 out of 50, you get a +1 for jump. 10 out of 50, +1 for agility. And it just keeps going like that until you get to 50 out of 50. And then once you get to 50, you no longer have to go out and get any new players. You can definitely could still make upgrades along the way with your roster, but you no longer need to go and continue to get to like 53, 54, 55, because there's no point. At 50 out of 50, you're done. Like, you don't need to get a new player of any kind. So, with that being said, that is basically a little bit of tip on how to build a theme team. Not really that big of a self-explanatory, but, obviously something you want to definitely work on. So for your lineup, if you want to build a theme team, that's basically how it works. Now, for players in general, there is a lot of great players right now. Right now, as of this moment, we have not gotten Season 2 yet, so there's still going to be cards like PJ Washington that have yet to release that are more likely that are going to be out by Christmas. Absolutely. There should be absolutely no excuses that EA does not release Season 2. But there's going to be cards like PJ Washington. There's also going to be wide receiver Jerry Jeudy for the Denver Broncos. That's a free card, which, by the way, leads me into the next thing. Play your solo challenges, all right? Definitely knock out before you even play online, okay? Before you even touch head-to-head seasons, go to your challenge section. Now, in the challenge section, you're going to be seeing, my apologies, I had to switch controllers, but in this challenge section, you're going to be seeing a bunch of challenges you can be doing. Now, right now, as of the moment, the Gridiron Forge Part 4 is currently still active for another few weeks. So if you finish up this Gridiron Forge and you get all this finished, you actually get a free NCAT 94 overall Cam Newton and his power-up. So you can take that Cam Newton and his training, power him up, get him to a 95. Now you have a free 95 overall quarterback to start your team. Isn't that exciting? So yeah, you go in, you finish this up, then say, for example, you go down to these other players here. Let's go to the most feared Multiverse of Terror, for example, all right? So you go into these rewards, all right? So as you see in Tier 2, I forget how many stars it is because I've completed all of them, but you get 281 most feared plus players. Now, they can be 81s, they can be 91, they can be 90s. Doesn't matter. It can be any of those cards. But as of starting with the video, starting your Ultimate Team, this is going to be the best possible option you can get, obviously, unless you get like an 81 quarterback and you already have the Cam Newton. So obviously, don't necessarily do these challenges right away. I personally would recommend you start with a different challenge when you get there. But as you see, you continue on Tier 3, you actually get a 90 overall NCAT Release 1 Hero Fantasy Pack, or an 85 plus overall most feared player that you can actually auction and trade. So it's up to you. Personally, I would take the 90 NCAT. That's up to you though. If you want to test your luck and try and get the coins, do that. If not, take the safe route, get the 90 overall. There you go. And then it just starts over again. 10k coins, 281 most feared, and then 90 overall release 2, and then 10k coins, most feared, 90 overall release 3, and then 10k coins and 85 plus most feared players. So those are the rewards for the most feared challenges for the Multiverse of Terror, mainly. Now, there are other challenges for the most feared promo you can do that did come out a couple of months ago. You can do things like, for example, where is it? It's all the way down here. The most feared challenge straight up. Now, you get up to 60 stars, you get a free 90 NCAT Fantasy Pack, which is basically, I don't necessarily know if it's going to be all of the NCATs that have come out. I'm almost certain it's going to be the ones that came out right at the first time, but there are going to be NCATs you can pick. So again, another 90 overall. Great way to start your team, to jumpstart your team and get another great card onto your roster. Now, more than likely, by the time this starts, Team of the Week is going to be long gone. So, the actual starting challenge points I actually think you should be starting with are the campaign challenges. Now, the campaign challenges will take you in a week-by-week season, starting from the preseason all the way to the Super Bowl. Every single week, you will have different challenges you need to accomplish in order to progress to the next week. Most of them are very easy. Some of them are just, basic challenges, like for the preseason here. These ones you'll actually be doing right away as soon as you get into the game. You will not have a choice. As soon as you log into MUT, you will have to do these practice ones. So calling plays, run, pass, whatever. The scrimmage, I think, is optional. I would still do it because you can get some stars for it, and you get, obviously, more stars, more coins. And with the way XP has now changed going into Season 2, more stars equals more coins and equals more XP, which means more rewards for you. Now, Week 1, you start off Week 1. You get rushing, passing, offensive strategy, baiting, give or take, giggity. And then you get into a game. Okay, and these ones are full game challenges against that specific team. So for rushing, you get 15 yards in 3 plays. You get 250 coins. All right, you keep going. You play this game. You get all this done. You don't have to complete these on the highest difficulty. I would recommend you do for the most coins and experience, but that's completely up to you. It's completely up to you. You don't have to do anything else. So you get to Week 2, you finish this up again. Week 3 is when you get your team captain. Now, your team captain is somebody that you get for free by getting to Week 3 after you finished up these challenges. So you finish up to Jack Youngblood here, and you're going to see at 1 star, you don't have to get 2 stars. You don't have to get any of the bonus stars. Just get the 1 star in the Jack Youngblood challenge. You will get a team captain fantasy pack. This is good for 1 free 85 overall of your choice, be it between Jack Youngblood, Sean Alexander, John Lynch, and Lance Allworth. Whatever your team needs, definitely go and pick that card up. Now, the good thing is the first 4 upgrades you can get by purchasing with just 5 training. Nothing else, just 5 training points. Then you have to win 10 games twice, so you have to win 20 games in total with the team captain in your lineup to get its next upgrades. So, for example, you get Jack Youngblood, you get to 89, and then you win 10 games with him in your lineup, and it doesn't have to be online. It can be solo challenges, it can be solo battles, it can be whatever. You win those challenges, you get a team captain token with Jack Young for your team captain, and you can put it into Jack Youngblood, and then you can do it again, and so on and so forth. Now again, all great, You complete these challenges, you get all these done, yada, yada, yada. There are some optional ones within these ones. Like, I think starting in week 10, there's like optional drills you can start doing. I would still do these because, again, more coins, like 700 coins for this, just by getting 15 yards this play, like in one play. That's still pretty good for rushing yards. Now, moving on to the rewards for this. Now, this is really, really good. So you get a silver or better player at tier 1, gold or better NAT at tier 2 and tier 3, 50 training at tier 4, gold or player or better tier 5, another 50 training, uncommon strategy item tier 7, 2 gold or better players, 100 training, 2 random tier strategy items, so they can be uncommon or they can be rare, which are the big ones. And then you get 4 gold or better NAT cards. Now, NATs you can definitely exchange for higher cards. NCATs you cannot. There is a difference. I will explain how you get NCATs later on. But as you can also see on the right side here, you can see the total rewards. You can get 100 plus K coins. You get 230 training points. You can get some strategy items. You get a power-up pass for 60. It's actually a misprint there. It's actually supposed to be 62 to 81 overall power-up pass. But you get a team captain. You also get a power-up player. You get 16 gold players, 5 silvers, and a team captain. So all in all, good rewards to start your team with. Definitely look to pick these up as much as possible. And you also get 1 elite store pack. Now, when Christmas comes out, I don't know when what the legends or LTDs are going to be. I'm almost certain that they're probably not going to be out because they have already announced for EA that a couple weeks ago that they're actually now on Christmas break, which they normally go on Christmas break at the beginning of December. They don't come back until a week after Christmas. So don't expect any content for your team until that you want to pick up until next week at the bare minimum, whenever they decide to come back. I think it's like actually a couple weeks after that. But keep that in mind as well. Also, you get a 75 overall campaign player. Now, this player you can pick when you start these challenges. After you finish the preseason, you get to pick a free captain player fantasy pack. This is why I say you still should do this scrimmage, because you can get a campaign player fantasy pack. This is good for a 75 overall, give or take, campaign player. Now, the campaign players are there's one per team. It doesn't matter what type of player you pick. It is an NAT. So if you come to the sets here, which obviously I will showcase the sets for the campaign. First of all, here are the bronze exchanges. So you can take those bronze players that you have out of your lineup, and you can exchange them for power-up passes, power-up players, 100 coin quick sells, and 8 gold players, and a gold player. I would personally recommend you do the power-up pass, and you do the power-up player. Then I would recommend just dumping the rest for quick sells at this point, because say, for example, 2, 4, so that's, 8 players, give or take. That's about 4 players. Use 36. 6 times 100 is 3,600 points. That's not the best, but it's not the worst, right? And it's still better than getting this and getting an NAT that you can't have no control over. It's going to be a 70 or if it's 79. You don't know. So I would take the coins, get as much coins as you possibly can right away. Make sure that you have your coin set up, coin stack going, and ready to go. Now, for the campaign players, when you do pick your campaign players, these are the options you have. So you have Roquan Smith, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Justin Simmons, Denzel Ward, Jack Barrett, Chandler Jones, Derwin James, Travis Kelce, Darius Leonard, DeMarcus Lawrence, Devontae Parker, Lane Johnson, Grady Jarrett, Trent Williams, Leonard Williams, James Robinson, Quinton Williams, a lot of Williams, holy shoot, TJ Hawkinson, Jair Alexander, DJ Moore, Devin McCourty, Josh Jacobs, Cooper Kupp, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Cameron Jordan, Bobby Wagner, Mika Fitzpatrick, Brandon Cooks, Ryan Tannehill, Dalvin Cook, and that's it. Okay? And how you get these cards is you have to exchange the campaign player that you are given. So if you want to pick Dalvin Cook as your NAT that you pick, you have to pick the Dalvin Cook campaign player. You do not get a second opportunity. You do not get a second chance to pick who you want. You don't get to exchange that Dalvin Cook campaign player for another card. You have one shot, one selection, that's it. So make sure that you are completely certain which card you want. That's why, for me, I went with Bobby Wagner, because I make a Seahawks theme team every year. Bobby Wagner is my guy. I love Commander Bobby. Hopefully he gets an upgrade with Zero Chill. But that being said, that's why I went with Bobby Wagner. Now, if you are absolutely certain you want the card in question, like say, for example, you want a card like Lamar Jackson, who definitely got a card who got an upgrade recently with the Blitz promo last month. what you can do is exchange that Lamar Jackson as well as whatever else it's set. So you see here for Lamar, you exchange 75 to 79 overalls and 70 to 74 overall. Now these are different for every player. Obviously, you see Lamar Jackson is not the best. You can get away with a lot easier. Meanwhile, a player like, say, Dalvin Cook, because he's an 85, you would actually have to get a 80 to 82 overall. Now, all of these are cheap right now because obviously the game has been out for a while, and more likely on Christmas Day, there is going to be a market crash because everybody's coming on, they're opening packs, they're doing this, that, and everything. More than likely, I do expect a market crash on Christmas. I won't know because I'm not going to be at home. So definitely make sure with the campaign player, you are 100% set on the player you want. There are no exchanges or refunds. Now, moving on to the rest of these sets, there's a lot you can do, and there's going to be more added in because Zero Chill is coming out here starting this Friday as of the recording of this video. There's Most Feared, there's Gridiron Guardians, which is a great promo that I definitely recommend you go check out if you want to get some good cards. Team of the Week is always great. There's a lot of great cards. Right now, Team of the Week is on hiatus. It will not be back until after Christmas, just like the rest of the team. The Ultimate Kickoff, Campus Heroes, MCS series, unfortunately, is a bit of a bummer because this one you actually had to require to watch the MCS series streams. Now, if you have been watching the MCS series streams with your account linked, then obviously you'll get some crown tokens that you can use those crown tokens to exchange for players. I'll just showcase them real quick. Right now, it's Tyreek Hill, and then you have Randy Moss. And then if you exchange all of these players, all four of them, the Randy Moss, Tyreek Hill, and then the two others that are going to be coming out for the MCS series, you exchange all four, you get a 97 overall Madden Bowl champion card that is designed by the player who won the Madden Bowl tournament. So keep that in mind. If you do have that, obviously, I don't expect you to. So it is what it is with that. Now, if you are someone that has Rookie Premier, more than likely your Rookie Premier collectibles will be in your binder when you come into the game. So for Rookie Premiers, there's different ways to get it this year. So for Rookie Premier, you can exchange one token to get a Rookie Premier 86 overall that is a quarter training value, is an NAT, and you cannot auction it. Now, there's one for, and you can only do it once. Now, there's one for two. Well, there's also one for another one exchange where I think there's actually two exchange, if I remember correctly. So you exchange two Rookie Premier collectibles to earn a fantasy pack of a player containing your choice of Rookie Premier players, but it quick sells for half the training points, and it's also an AT. And finally, there's a Rookie Premier one where you can get a full auctionable or a full training version of the Rookie Premier players, and you can just go nuts. Now this costs 5 Rookie Premier tokens, and you can only do it twice. So just some little things to keep in mind. Also, keeping on with the sets, we go into exchanges. Now, there is a team player captain exchange. There's a team captain exchange. So, say, for example, you pick that Jack Youngblood, and then you realize later on, well, damn, maybe I should have been more patient and stuck with Sean Alexander. Well, guess what? There's the ability to exchange team captains. You can only do it up to 5 times. After that, you can no longer exchange captains. Hopefully, they'll make it to where you can get more team captain exchanges. Please. But until then, unfortunately, after recording with this video, we are stuck with only the 5 exchanges. So there is that as well. You also here you can get team items. So you can get uniforms, stadiums, coaches, playbooks. These ones I wouldn't recommend doing the sets for. I actually would recommend doing the training rolls for them because it actually is a fantasy pack just like this, but the trading rerolls are much easier to get than 5 gold players. But if you have 5 spare gold players in your binder, you can exchange them and you can get an offensive playbook and you don't have to waste training. There's also one for an alternative offense or an alternative defense. This one is you trade in 10 gold players, but it's a random one. So you never know which one you're going to get. You could strike it lucky and get the multiple defense or the base 4-6 defense, or you can swing and miss and get cover 2 or base 3-4. And then offensive playbook, you can get the run and shoot one, or you can get something like pistol, which pistol isn't that bad, but for the market value, it's like 5k coins. It's not the greatest exchange, because more than likely you're not making return on your investments, right? Now, there's also strategy item exchanges. Now, these strategy items, you can exchange these to get a higher upgrade of strategy items. So, for example, you can exchange 8 common strategy items to get 1 random uncommon, 5 uncommon strategy items to get 1 rare, 40 rare, 40 uncommon strategy, a 40 common, my apologies, to get 1 rare strategy item. Now, these ones are all random. You never know which ones you're going to get. But the next few are really interesting. So this one here, you can exchange 6 common strategy items and get a common strategy item fantasy pack. So you'll get a bunch of common strategy items. You pick one of those, done. And then you got one for offense for the uncommons, one for defense, uncommon for the defense, one for rare, and for the offense and defense. Now, with the uncommons and rares, what makes these ones special is these actually give you extra boosts. There are ones that I personally have that give me +1 to my defensive back speed. Now, you can have the same type of card in the strategy item in your lineup. You can have 2 in the zones or 2 deep route specialists, which are the ones that give you +2 speed for your wide receivers and or DBs. But the trade-off is you cannot have the same exact ones. So let me show you what I mean when I get to when I talk about that. So for example, let's say you have it in the zone on your lineup. Okay, you have it in the zone on your lineup that gives you a +1 to speed, but it also gives you a +1 to man coverage. Okay, if you want to get that second upgrade to get that +1 speed, you cannot have the same in the zone for the man coverage. You have to have a different second in the zone plus for the defensive back ones. So you can get pursuit, you can get tackling, you can get awareness. Actually, awareness is already a base stat on this. But I think pursuit and tackling, I think, are the ones for the defensive backs. So you can get that, and boom, you can get the +2 speed, and you also get the +1 pursuit and the +1 to damn, what was the other one? Man coverage. And then for wide receivers, as you see, +1 to speed, +1 to awareness for this one. And then the other one I have is +1 to jump and +1 to speed. So those ones you can definitely work with. I think it's actually spec catch, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's jumping. I think it's spec catch. No, it is jumping. Okay, never mind. So yeah, just keep those in mind when you are putting in for your strategy items. You cannot have the same ones in there. Now, anyways, back to the challenges, because there's still more to cover with that. I kind of got a little sidetracked. I do apologize. So there are a lot of great ways to get more players. Now, the next one that I would recommend doing after the campaign, if you really truly want to, are these legend challenges. The legend challenges are incredibly easy. They're mainly just half challenges. Like, for example, you go to Darrelle Revis here, you get 5 tackles, you get Darrelle and win the game. You get Darrelle Revis' power up and a legend token. Now, as of this Saturday, which definitely will be a thing by the time this video goes up, as of now, you can get a free legend card. All you have to do is get 40 of these challenges done. So you get all these challenges up to release 17, because release 17 will be coming out Saturday. So you finish release 17, you get to 40 stars, you'll have 40 collectibles, okay? You can exchange those 40 collectibles and get a free legend card. Now, unfortunately, it's an NAT and it is not auction, and it is a random card. You have no control over what it is. However, more than likely, because of your current situation, that card could actually be very valuable to you. Like, you could be lucky and pull a 94 LeGarrette Blount, which is one of the best running backs in the game right now, with his recent release. He's one of the best running backs in the game. So you can pull a 94 LeGarrette Blount, or you could be extremely unlucky and pull a 89 Darrelle Revis. Honestly, it's completely up to you. It's completely up to them. But definitely go in and do these challenges, because these challenges will give you a free power-up from that player, and you also get 1,000 coins, which is a lot of coins, especially if you keep adding on to it. Like, for example, up to 40 stars, 1 times 1,000, that's 40,000 coins, plus you get, like, extra coins along the way. So you get, like, 2,000 to start, then you get 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. You get some extra coins. Not much, but it's a little extra. Now, you also get some strategy items. Unfortunately, you cannot do anything with them. You can put them in your lineup. However, they will only affect the Legends players. So if you have, a bunch of players in your lineup and you only have like 2 Legends cards, well, those 2 Legends are the only ones that are going to get affected by that specific one, if they're on the right side of the ball, obviously. Like, if you have 2 defensive players and you put a defensive one on, then those 2 defensive players are going to get a boost to their defensive stats. But if you have one for offense and one for defense, Obviously, you can put one on offense and one on defense, but only that player will get the benefit of that specific item. There we go. So yeah, definitely check out the Legends. Then I would recommend checking out Gridiron Guardians. Gridiron Guardians is a fantastic promo. I really loved this promo this year. This promo gives you a good amount of coins, and at tier 4, which I believe is 100 stars, you get a 90 NCAT fantasy pack. Now, again, for you at this moment, having that fantasy pack is definitely going to help your team tremendously. It's going to help your team out tremendously because you basically get a free 91 overall if you decide to power the card up. Obviously, it's going to cost a little extra because you need the training points and all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. But for the Gridiron Guardians, here are the heroes you have to choose from. So you have Tre'Davious White, Mike Evans, DeForest Buckner, Amari Cooper, Mike Gesicki, Stephon Gilmore, Alvin Kamara, and my man Jamal Adams. In these sets, if you decide to do them, you'll get the power up. I wouldn't recommend doing the set. I would just get the free one that you want. If I had to pick which free one you should take, I would personally recommend you take Jamal Adams, because he is a very good user card. You know, being 6'1", he hits like a truck, and he has great coverage stats. But if you are in desperate need of a receiver, I would go with Amari Cooper over anything. But if you really, really need a receiver, I would go with I would definitely go with Amari Cooper. But I would say Jamal Adams is the best out of all of these cards. All right. So keep that in mind, as well as the fact that with Campus Heroes, you have an opportunity to get one NCAT 89 overall. Here are the NCAT 89 overalls. So you can get Vince Young, Clay Matthews, Matt Leinart, Carl Banks, Javon Curse, Marcus Spears, Phillip Buchanan, Antrell Roll, Jordan Shipley, Roy Williams, Reggie Nelson, Mel Renfro, Reggie White, AJ Hawk, Brian Dawkins, Joey Galloway, John Hanna, Broderick Thomas, Derek Thomas, and Mike Pouncey. Now, it is not a bad idea to take an offensive lineman as an NCAT, okay? If you really need an offensive lineman, there is no shame in taking a guy like John Hanna or a guy like Mike Pouncey. There's no shame in it because everybody needs offensive linemen, right? Because more than likely, your offensive linemen are not going to be very good right now. So it's obviously really good to pick an offensive lineman card for it. Now, NCATs are very special this year because NCATs are a type of card that cannot be auctioned, traded, or collectible, and they cannot be put into a set. However, they could still go into the player's power-up and act like a normal card that way. Now, personally, I don't have an issue with NCATs as long as the NCATs don't interfere with, as long as you don't have an abundance of them. But for the Campus Heroes, you get one free 89 NCAT. Unfortunately, you cannot exchange that card for the Reggie Bush set. You actually have to buy the 3 cards straight up in order to do so. Now, you can get really lucky and get the card itself, get 3 89s out of these. It is possible. Very unlikely, but it is definitely possible. Then you can exchange those 3, get Reggie Bush, and you can get 3 NCATs back. So some of the sets now have the ability to get you 3 plus NCATs back of certain players that you want, and you get the champion that you did the exchange set for. So definitely check out your solo challenges. Ultimate Kickoff actually has an ability for you to get 2 NCATs 88 overalls. I like these ones because there actually is one in the Ultimate Kickoff promo that has a special card this year. It's Emmanuel Sanders for the Bills. Now, this year, the reason I'm highlighting that card is because this year EA did something very different with the Thanksgiving promo. What they did this year was they gave us players a free 92 overall Turkey Bowl leader. Now, that this year is basically a player that goes on any theme team in that specific conference along with the teams that he played for. So, for example, Emmanuel Sanders, like I mentioned, he gets all AFC team chem from the Bills to the Chargers. Every single team chem for the AFC he gets, along with the San Francisco 49ers and I think the Detroit Lions. I can't remember the other team he played for, but he does get San Francisco 49ers chem. Now, he also does get Broncos chem, and he also does get Pittsburgh Steelers chem. Obviously, he played for those teams in the AFC, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point is if you're building a team in the AFC, like say, for example, you're building a Los Angeles Chargers team and you need a wide receiver, well, Emmanuel Sanders can fill that hole for you, giggity, because he gets every AFC team can. And Ndamukong Suh is for the NFC. I have him on my Hawks team right now, even though he never played for the Hawks this year. But again, Emmanuel Sanders is very, very pivotal because you can pick him up, get a free end cat of him. You basically can get a fully powered up Emmanuel Sanders right now, and all you have to do is just complete challenges and buy some training and his power up. That's it. Like, you don't have to go out and buy his core. You don't have to go out and buy his ultimate kickoff card. Nothing. You can just do the challenges and you can have a free 93 overall Emmanuel Sanders. Almost said Barry Sanders. Oops. So these challenges are all here. They're not going away anytime soon. Definitely look at these challenges before you even consider playing online, because I guarantee you a lot of people have insanely great teams right now that will rip your fucking butt into fucking three. It will rip your fucking butt into 3 goddamn pieces and then decide to shove it down your throat. Anyways, back to lineup construction. Now, lineup construction is ultimately very important, not just for the team that you're building, but also the abilities you can rock on your team this year. Now, right now, as the recording of this video, there are some abilities that are really broken right now. For example, roaming Deadeye has been broken all year. EA has never addressed it even last year. And although they did up it to 2 AP, I still think it's worth having 2 AP. So if you do like to throw on the run, and you do like to pick up, and you do like to escape out of the pocket and like to throw on the run and downfield, roaming Deadeye is that ability for you. If you also want to get an ability to help improve your passing ability, making your quarterbacks release faster, Gunslinger is your ability. You can rock Pass Lead Elite this year. They have added Pass Lead Elite to this in this game to some players, but Gunslinger is your ultimate go-to. But if you cannot afford it, Pass Lead Elite is the ability I would rock, because it will increase your throw power and get the ball downfield a lot faster. But the trade-off is your quarterback's release speed is not faster. Okay, like the ball goes down the field faster, but the quarterback's release isn't faster. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because I confused myself a little bit thinking about it. But the rest of the abilities are completely up to you what you like to do. Obviously, again, if you like escaping out of the pocket and throwing on the run, definitely go with Escape Artist. If you like running with your quarterback on read option plays, definitely or quarterback runs, go with a Fast Break. If you are a person that likes to pass from the pocket, definitely go with Hot Route Master if you can afford it on your quarterbacks. Maybe even Fearless. I've actually grown to love this ability. Long Range Deadeye is another ability I would recommend picking up on your opponent, on your player. If you do have a quarterback that is a field general archetype, I would actually recommend picking up Identifier, which does give away your opponent's user, and it only costs 1 AP, which the reason I'm highlighting that is because as of right now, it is 2 AP on an offensive lineman. Now, I don't like that. I personally think it's still dumb, but I don't control that. But offensive line, the reason I'm doing that is because it's transitioning me to offensive lineman. Okay, if you are someone that uses offensive lineman to gather information, because there are abilities that can get you information, Identifier and Threat Detector are your abilities. If you just want your offensive linemen to be good pass blockers or good blockers in general, which most of us do, but sometimes, me personally, I like to get the information. I think it's more important. Abilities like Post Up and Edge Protector are king for you. Edge Protector is fantastic. Cannot recommend this enough. If you can afford it on your lineup, pick up Edge Protector. It is so key. And then when it comes to things like Post Up, putting it on your center can help prevent those double team sheds up the middle of the line. Put it on your center, but if you can put it on both your guards, if you have the ability to put 2 Post Ups, definitely rock 2 Post Ups, one on your left and right guard respectively. I would do that, definitely that. I've heard also some things about All Day being really good. I don't necessarily know if that's true, but All Day is an ability I would recommend checking out as well. Now, for wide receivers, it all just depends for you personally, what you want to rock for your wide receivers. Wide receivers are the most open position for archetypes and abilities in this game, I personally feel, other than maybe a running back. You could throw tight ends in the mix here, because I tend to use my tight ends as different as like a 4th or a 5th receiver, depending on how many tight ends I have on the field. Or how many receiver options I have on the field. But, for me personally, I like to run Route Technician on route runners. 2 AP, quicker cuts on running routes, beats match coverage pretty well. You can definitely make it to where you can create a lot of separation on those routes. If you are somebody that likes the physical wide receivers, Matchup Nightmare is 1 AP on physical wide receivers. You see it on my DK Metcalf. I'll showcase that real quick. As you see right about now, DK Metcalf, as you see, Matchup Nightmare is currently on him right now. It is 1 AP on physical wide receivers. So if you want that extra, you want that saving of AP and you want an ability that can help you get you better route running and catching, Matchup Nightmare on physicals is really great. If you really do want to build hot routes, but you don't have hot route master quarterback, obviously you can go with things like wide receiver apprentice, tight end apprentice, outside apprentice. You can get the apprentices. However, EA made a stupid change way back in October, and they made slot apprentice on route runners 2 AP now. I don't agree with it. I still hate the change, and it has affected me still to this very day. But it is not like you cannot still rock slot apprentice. Now, personally, I am not somebody that likes to rock hot route abilities anymore. I've found that they have choked away too much AP for me. But if you do have the AP left over, definitely go ahead and rock some wide receiver route apprentices. Wide receiver apprentice, if you can afford that, is a great return on value. It's both outside and slot apprentice at the same time, and you don't have to move them around. You can make the hot routes wherever and get those routes for yourself. So there is that. Another ability I would recommend on tight ends, on vertical threat tight ends, and things like players like route runners and deep threats, is Deep Out Elite. Now, as of the recording of this video, it is bugged. I will put a note in the description of the day that this video comes out, letting you guys know if this has been patched. May more than likely it won't be, but Deep Out Elite right now, it is glitched to where it lights up on both deep out and in passes. Basically, passes over 15 yards, in or outside the numbers, it lights up and gives you better catching on those passes. Now, do I think should be changed? I honestly think it should be bumped up to 2 AP, maybe even 3, but I don't think it should be. I don't think it's that bad, because, in my personal opinion, because 1 AP to get better catching. I mean, like the people who mainly want that are people who just throw into coverage all the time and are looking for a bailout, which I can understand that if you want it gone, but me personally, I'm just not a fan of it, so there is that. But other abilities for tight ends, Matchup Nightmare is probably the only other ability other than maybe hot route, other than the hot routes. No, I lied. There is one other ability I would recommend putting on your tight ends if you can afford it as well, and I would recommend it be Red Zone Threat. If you don't know what Red Zone Threat is, it gives you improved catching versus single coverage in the red zone, which on paper doesn't look that great. However, in practice, I have seen people have the receiver put their nutsack on a guy's fucking neck. That is how insanely good this ability is. The fact that you can literally just throw a high ball to the back of the end zone on a fade route and have a guy like Brandon Marshall just put his nutsack down a guy's fucking neck and get a guaranteed touchdown is insane. It's just absolutely incredible. Definitely have this ability on your team if you can afford it. I can't. And personally, I can't get it to consistently activate, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if it is something that interests you, definitely pick it up. Now, running backs, all depends on your play style for your running backs. What do you like the quarterbacks? What do you like to run? Do you like to be a power back? Do you like to be a receiver? Do you like to use your running backs in the pass game? Do you like to use your running backs in a type of juke and spin type of way? Then obviously, those type of players, just pick the running back that goes for you. Personally, I am a power back type of guy. I like to just bowl people over and run through people and break tackles. So if you are a power back guy like myself, abilities like Bruiser, Armbar, or Bulldozer definitely are abilities I would recommend for you. Also Tank, if you have running backs like, say, Derrick Henry. If you do have a Derrick Henry type of player, or like Garrett Blunt, definitely pick up Tank. 3 AP, but you break all hit sticks. That's a great return on investment because they have to conserve and tackle you. But in this game, with size and big girthy backs being king, guys like Derrick Henry and LeGarrette Blount are going to just be hard to tackle with tanks. So definitely use Tank. But if you are a person that likes to use jukes, or like to make people miss like jukes and spins, I honestly would just recommend Jukebox. I would not make it to where you have, what's it called? I would not use Spin Cycle, because Spin Cycle is spins are already really good this year. You don't need to use Spin Cycle personally. So, but Jukebox, I would recommend you use. And then if you are a person that likes to use your running backs in the pass game, Backfield Master is the best ability for you. You get better catching and route running. Plus, you also get the hot routes for 1 AP. Great return on investment there. Definitely recommend you, if you are a person that likes to use receiving backs, just get that ability. There's no other ability you need other than that. Now, move on to the defensive side, guys. Well, actually, first, let me talk about X Factors. My X Factors I like to run are Omaha, Yak 'em Up, and Freight Train. Now, all of these, I personally, if you want to skip out on X Factors, it's completely fine. X Factors this year really aren't relevant, especially offensively. I don't really find them activating that much. Defensively, I get them activated. Like, if I were to do a ratio, I would say about 4 times to every 1. Like, I activate a defensive X Factor 4 times before I get 1 offensive X Factor. Part of it is just because I suck, and also part of it is because the offensive ones actually take a lot to activate because, you know, for example, Omaha takes like 6 5+ yard passes to get it activated, which is a lot. And then, you know, Yak 'em Up is also 6 as well. Freight Train is 5 10-yard rushes, at, you know, 10+ yard rushes, so that is a lot as well. Now, Double Me is 3 20-yard catches. However, they have to be a minimum of 20-yard catch. Like, you can't throw a ball 5 yards and then have him run for an extra 15. No, you have to minimally throw 20 yards, and then it adds on. Now, it is 3 times that it gets activated, but, you know, the thing is, like, that's still like a lot. Like, I would rather use Yak 'em Up because of the fact that it does work with run after the catch. But that's what I would rock for X Factors. Move on to defense, guys. Now, defense, I cannot recommend abilities like Acrobat enough. Now, I'm not rocking Acrobat anymore because I'm just not using it. I'm trying to make the transition to Pick Artist because I do believe Pick Artist is going to be very good because they actually did buff it in the game. And also people have had some problems with it, but I personally am a fan of it. I actually really do like the ability. But, you know, if you want to get Flat Zone KO. Flat Zone KO does really work. I actually made a video on Flat Zone KO a while back talking about how good this ability was. Now, I did have to delete that video because it was not as thought out and as well done as I would have liked it to have been. But make no mistake, Flat Zone KO is still one of the best abilities in the game. You know, improved catch and reactions on improved knockouts and reactions in flat zones. If someone keeps repeatedly throwing to a flat and you have a hard flat there, if they just keep throwing it to the hard flat, that Flat Zone KO is going to light up. DJ Reed is going to knock him in the fucking mouth, and he's going to drop the ball more often than not. So that's why I do like Flat Zone KO. Now, I am also rocking Deep Out Zone KO on Shaq Griffin. I'm definitely going to change this to Acrobat again here really soon. I've just done this because I do play a lot of cover 3, and he does play the outside corner. And then Fabian Moreau, he will definitely be gone from this team by the time this video goes live. So he is just pretend he's not here. But for PJ John Washington, I'm actually rocking Pick Artist on him, and I'm gonna actually have Pick Artist on my Taylor Mays. That I'm actually going to get for Season 2 Champion. Also, keep in mind, Season 2 rewards, you actually can get some free cards, like I mentioned, not only with Jerry Jeudy, but you also can get a free Taylor Mays or Tony Baselli, which is a free safety and a left tackle. So definitely keep that in mind as well. You get those at level 5, and then every 10 levels from 5 to 45 is an upgrade for the player. So keep that in mind. But me personally, I'm going to be moving to Pick Artist. Now, I do also have a couple of lurker linebackers. This Junior Seau is not going to be long for this world when it comes to being on my field. Once Bobby Wagner gets his next upgrade, which hopefully by the time this video goes up, he has one for Zero Chill. Please, for fuck's sake, more than likely, when Bobby Wagner has his upgrade, Junior Seau is not going to be playing on my field. You know, Bobby Wagner is going to take that spot, and I actually plan to move Kevin Pierre-Louis. I actually plan to cut Kevin Pierre-Louis as well. Because not cut him, but take him out of my sub linebacker role once I get Jamal Adams series in Redux, which hopefully comes very soon as well. Because I do want to put Cam Chancellor back to sub linebacker. But the reason I bring these up is because I cannot recommend Pick Artist enough. If you really do, picks right now are very hard to catch. And I would recommend, if you're going to put them on anybody, put them on your deep safeties. Cornerbacks, you don't necessarily need pick artists, I have found, because they need acrobat more than they need pick artists, in my personal opinion, because corners, they need to dive. They're much less space for them, right? They need to dive and make those plays. But pick artist has been really great. I've seen a lot of people talk about pick artist being good. I've heard some people say it's bad. I'm on the side that it's really good. So I definitely would recommend you give that a try. If you don't like it, then unfortunately that is just the way it is for you. But for me personally, I do like that ability. Also, I am rocking 2 double or nothings. For pass rush, if you do need some pass rush abilities, definitely look with that. But also if you need some run stopping abilities for your defensive linemen or outside linebackers, inside stuff is king. I cannot stress this enough. It may not work all the time, but when it works, it is a thing of fucking beauty when it works. I absolutely love it when it lights up and I get a stop for like no gain, or I get a turnover on downs. Just, I love it. Now, I don't have the AP to afford it at the moment because I am rocking 2 double or nothings. But yeah, I'm going to definitely pick up Al Woods inside stuff. Maybe by the next AP update, if there is an AP update by the time this video comes out, he'll be active on my roster, on my lineup. So, but the reason I talked about the defense all in one, because defense right now is very, very hard. You definitely want to have an identity on the defensive side of the ball. Offense, you can do a little bit more free roaming, a little bit more scrambling, not scrambling, a little bit more of adjusting, because you can have whatever. Defense in this game, it's so difficult to get a stop this year. You need to have an identity on what you want to stop. I personally would play a few games, figure out what you're really susceptible against to the most, then build your abilities and X factors around that. If you are just a person that wants to have a balanced defense and you want to make sure that you have both things to stop the run and pass, then I would definitely recommend you have things like acrobat, pick artist, lurker, inside stuff, out my ways, even Cam Chancellor at 95 overall, which more than likely he will get an upgrade by the next video, by the time this video is out. But at 94 overall, he does get out my way, which is a free ability for specifically just Cam Chancellor. It gives him dominant impact block wins on wide receivers, tight ends, and halfbacks. He basically just throws him to the side, and he continues on to make a play on for the tackle. So definitely pick up out my way on Cam Chancellor. It is a great ability. But yeah, if you need abilities for against the run, inside stuff, no outsiders, out my ways are all good. If you want abilities to help get you pass rush, double or nothing is fantastic. Edge threat completely sucks this year on next gen. They tried to buff it, but it just isn't very good. And you can combine it with abilities like unpredictable, but at that point you should just be using double or nothing, because you're literally spending more AP for an ability that's worse compared to a double or nothing for the same amount. So I would rather use double or nothing. On my defensive lineman, I personally put it on the edge rushers, my outside linebacker rushing, best outside rushers, like Jack Youngblood, Carlos Dunlap. For me personally, I would rather just do that. But if there is an outside linebacker that does get it, I definitely will put double or nothing on him. But those are abilities I would recommend for defense. Definitely look to get those type of abilities as well. Other abilities I would recommend, they don't necessarily have a specific identity to where it goes, like is it a passing or is it a running ability, but there are a couple of abilities I would recommend. First is Secure Tackler. It does work in both the run and pass game, but it's especially really good in the run game, because as soon as you meet a guy like Derrick Henry or Bo Jackson, you instantly stop him and he goes down, and I love it. I love Secure Tackler. Unfortunately, again, I don't have the AP to justify it because I am rocking 2 double or nothings, and it is a lot of AP. So that is why I don't have the AP to justify that. So I would recommend, if you do have it, Secure Tackler is a good ability. And then the last ability I would personally recommend to you, if you can afford it, is definitely going to be Run Stopper. If you can afford it, Obviously, if you need just like if you have like one spare and not a run stopper, strip specialist, I would recommend trying strip specialist on your edge rushers if you don't want to use double or nothing, because they get into the backfield, and once they get that hit on their quarterback, and if you have your aggressive tackling on, you can get those strip sacks and you can get more turnovers. And that's the key to the game right now, is to force as many turnovers as possible. You know, you can't trust your defense to get a stop, so you got to be the one to sit there and scheme up how you can get more stops for your defense. So definitely recommend that. And then the last one I would recommend you try is an ability that has flown under the radar a little bit, and it's called Under Pressure. Now, Under Pressure this year, well, first of all, that is just, you know, I feel like Quinn is going to sue somebody. But but Under Pressure is a great ability. It gives you a larger area of effect on quarterback pass pressure and disruption. So if you have a quarterback that is just being so goddamn annoying and dotting your team up, you have Under Pressure, he gets to the backfield and he gets a bigger range of a pressure impact on that quarterback, which, unless he has Fearless, which not a lot of people do. I'm one of the few people I've seen on YouTube that actually rocks the Fearless ability. Unless they're rocking Fearless or they're rocking ability called Gutsy Scrambler, more than likely you're gonna force a bad throw. And having the ability to force a bad throw can be the difference between a win and a loss in this game. Having that extra incentive having that extra way to get a turnover can be the difference between a win and a loss. It can be the difference between a pick and a touchdown, or a pick and, you throwing your controller out a window and saying, fuck this, I'm done, which I don't blame you. So, but definitely would recommend Under Pressure as well. Unpredictable is also another one that really doesn't have a pass or a run specific spot. But if you are just a person that likes to do general abilities, Unpredictable is one of the better abilities. It gives you less likely to add blocker resistance to players if you win sheds. So definitely would recommend trying Unpredictable out. Now for X Factors, honestly, X Factors, much like defense, there are much better, easier to trigger, especially the defensive backs ones, because you are more likely to get, them, because all you really need for like zone hawk and universal coverage is just one interception. You get a pick, it activates, done. You don't have to do anything else. So I would recommend for your top cornerback, me personally, my top cornerback, I would recommend you have universal coverage, giving you better catching and improved catch knockouts and reactions in both man and zone, and also gives you better coverage too, right? So as you see here, improved coverage and catch knockouts in both man and zone. So it's kind of like flat zone KO or the zone KOs, but it works on everything, right? It gives you man and zone, and it gives you better catch knockouts, which if you don't pick it, you'll knock it out, which is better. Zone Hawk for your deep free safety is what I like to run. Zone Hawk is very good, giving you, more interceptions in zone coverage, especially if you do like to play a lot of zone. And then for your sub linebacker / middle linebacker, personally, I'm a linebacker user. I love using my linebackers because not a lot of people do, and I want to stand out and be different. But personally, for me, I like to rock Avalanche because getting 5 hit sticks, don't get me wrong, it's tough, but once that's activated, your opponent is petrified to run anywhere near you, because as soon as you land that hit stick with Avalanche, that ball's out and it's a turnover. And again, more turnovers, the better. So, like I said, it's hard to activate, but once you get it activate, your opponent is literally shitting themselves and petrified, because if they come anywhere near you, it's a turnover. So, definitely will rock Avalanche. Another X Factor I would recommend is Reinforcement, which is a good X Factor. It's not great, but it's a good X Factor, giving you higher chance to win run blocks and disrupt catches. It's basically like a, reinforcement. So gives you better pass, gives you better whatever you need. Another one that I don't see a lot of, but I think is still good, is Unstoppable Force, giving you pass rush wins that lead to quicker block shedding. Now to get this, you have to get 2 sacks, which isn't that bad. I think it's 2 or 3 sacks on competitive sliders, which honestly ain't bad. But actually, I would recommend, if you're going to have that, you just do Relentless, because you get, for Relentless, you get basically free pass rush moves. So double or nothing basically cancels out, and you get dominant pass rush moves for basically nothing, right? Or, yeah, because dominant pass rush wins at twice the cost. But if you have Relentless, rush moves no longer cost points. So you're basically getting dominant pass rush wins for free. So, and all you need is 2 tackles for loss. You don't need sacks. If he gets a tackle for a loss, like say for example on a run play, he immediately sheds and he gets a tackle. Boom! Relentless activates. Relentless gives him 1, and then say he gets a tackle for loss and a sack. Boom! Now he's just going absolutely bonkers. So I would try Relentless if I were you. I haven't gotten to the point where I want to use that yet. Definitely will think about it. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have thought about using it. If I do use it, I probably will just take off Avalanche or hell, even Zone Hawk. But I like my X factors where they are personally. But those are the X factors and abilities I would recommend for defense. For special teams, I'm a clutch kicker person. Honestly, I am a clutch kicker type of guy. I've not really been a fan of I have been a fan of focus kicker, but I stopped using it because I've just been so good at timing kicks. I don't really need it, so I just use clutch kicker at this point. I really don't want to use focus kicker. Precision kicker is an ability I just recommend you stay away from. Sure, giving full vision of the kicking arc, but more than likely, you if you play this game enough and you play with your kickers enough, you should know where your kicker's range is. You should know where your kicker's range is and where they're effectively able to hit the kicks from. So I would recommend just staying away from that ability altogether. Now for your playbooks, honestly, just pick the best playbook you're comfortable with. Be it for the Hawks, for me, the Hawks offense and the 4-6 defense. But if you're a player that likes to use the Dallas Cowboys offensive playbook, or you like to use the Washington football team's offensive playbook, definitely use those. Find a playbook you're comfortable in. Find a playbook that has a lot of great formations. Some playbooks I would recommend at least starting out in a small base. Okay, and I'm not going to be talking about any alternative defensive playbooks or offense because those ones are really hard to get. But the base ones you can get, because these ones you can get just for $150. If you like to pass the ball, Patriots is the best one in my personal opinion. They have a lot of good passing plays. They have a lot of good passing formations. And this year they've actually added some read option plays to the Patriots playbook. So it makes the Patriots playbook gets even better with the addition of the read option plays. Next one I would recommend is the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, if you are a fan of Taylor Throne, shout out to my man Throne, by the way. Check out hotroute.tips. This is not a shameless plug. This is literally just popping into my head right now. But check him out on hotroute.tips. He actually has a full ebook on the Raiders offense. He breaks down everything he does. He's actually done very well in weekend leagues. He's finished top 1, 2, 1, 3, 16, and 17, I think he said in his videos. And he got number 2 in the world for monthly rewards last month while using the Raiders offense. So definitely go check out the Raiders offense and check out his ebook if you really want. Again, this is not a shameless plug. This is not me endorsing him in any way, shape, or form. I've never had a conversation with the gentleman in my life, but he's a wonderful person from what I've seen in his videos. I definitely recommend that ebook. Also for offense, the next one I would recommend, honestly, this is not a shameless plug, Seattle, I would recommend for passing offensive playbooks. They're more of a balanced one, but if you do like to pass the ball, they have a lot of good passing formations. They have bunch tight end, gun tray, trips tight end offset, some good single back doubles, single back bunch tight end. They got a lot of good they got a lot of good stuff in the Seahawks playbook for their offense. So I would recommend those 3 for the offensive playbooks. Now for the defensive playbooks, I would recommend first the Miami Dolphins. It was my defense this year before I made the switch to the 4-6 defense. Dolphins defense is incredibly good. I think it's the best non-base, non-alternate defensive playbook in the game. Personally, I think the Dolphins is very, very good. Has some really good formations. Has the even 6-1 formation, which a lot of people are rocking right now. Which, if you don't know what the 6-1 formation is, just look it up. For the defense, continuing on, I've heard a lot of things about the Washington defense. I've seen some people use it, and there actually are some good formations in that playbook as well. And then the last one I would recommend, and this is just like not even me trying to comment this team at all. It's the Patriots. Patriots have a very good defensive playbook this year. Like, they actually have some good dime. They have some good nickel. They don't have 3-3-5 wide, which is a very good formation still this year, but they do have some good defensive formations. I definitely recommend giving them a look at as well for defense if you're not wanting to look into these alternate defensive ones. If you want to look into the alternate defensive ones, look at the base 4-6 and the multiple defense, which by the way, that one is also on hotroute.tips as well. So definitely look to pick those up if you are someone that looks to want to get those. But personally, that is going to be it for the lineup creation. Now, one last thing before I do wrap up. This has been almost an hour-long video, but it's a full, complete, authentic guide for what for how to get you started on your ultimate team. Check out the store, because at this time there's definitely going to be some not team of the week. There's definitely going to be some zero chill cards coming into the store. They're in the store packs right in the store. There's definitely going to be some like zero chill fantasy packs, maybe even some zero chill training rerolls. I think could be in the store at this time. Who knows? To be completely honest, I'm making this video like before they even announced what the zero chill cards are. So definitely look in the store, but also some budget options for your players. So if you're looking for a quarterback that has a cheap gunslinger, I would recommend just picking up Josh Allen's Team of the Week, 91 overall, or I would actually lean towards more Jim Kelly's card. The reason why I say Jim Kelly power up card, because Jim Kelly you could actually get for free, because like I said earlier with the Legends card, the Legends promo, if you go into Legends and you come down to release, I think it's release 10 for Jim Kelly. No, it was after this. 11, 12. Yes, so you go to release 12. Jim Kelly is right here. Now, Jim Kelly, you get this card for free. You don't have to pay for this card at all. You get this card for free, complete this challenge, and you get his card. Now, if you power him up to a 91, you don't even have to fully power the card up. You power him up to a 91, he will be able to get the Gunslinger ability, which is very, very good. Now, if you do want a quarterback that has Hot Route Master, yeah, that one's going to be a little bit more difficult, because there's not a lot of quarterbacks that can get Hot Route Master. However, again, relating to challenges, Kirk Cousins actually does get Hot Route Master. Now, Kirk Cousins is in the Harvest promo, and you can actually get him for free for the 92 overall. Now, the sets are gone at this point, but Kirk Cousins, if you finish the card, if you finish the solos, and you get a 92 NCAT fantasy pack for the Harvest promo, you will get the option to pick Kirk Cousins. You pick him up and you have a Hot Route Master quarterback. So that is another positive right there. Now, if you want some cheap players that can get route tech, Jerry Rice is a very good option right now. I don't know if he's going to get an upgrade with zero chill like a ghost player, but Jerry Rice is a card that I would pick up for the zero chill. For the cheap route runner. If you want a cheap good tight end right now, I would recommend picking up guys like I would say Jimmy Graham is a good cheap tight end right now, even though he's not the best. Cheap tight ends, right near you want to be. But personally, for a cheap tight end, I would just go with Charlie Young. Maybe even a Rob Gronkowski if you can pick him up. I don't necessarily know what cheap tight ends are right at the moment. Now for defensive players, definitely best cheap defensive cornerbacks. I would definitely recommend picking up cards like Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett's flashback card will definitely have tanked in price more than likely, because everybody will more than likely have an NCAT version of him come tomorrow, because the Wildcard Wednesday cards are going to be resetting. So definitely look to pick up Jason Verrett. Now he actually has like 95 speed. I think, he has 93 speed, my apologies. He has 93 speed, and he has some great man and great zone. Now, you can definitely pick him up, power him up, and you get a 94 overall cornerback. And if you have a Niners or Chargers theme team, he has a 96 speed cornerback. So, definitely pick up Jason Verrett. In terms of pass rushers, I would definitely recommend, just pick up Ndamukong Suh. It's a free card. Definitely go look to get him as well. But in terms of, free for cheap pass rushers, honestly, other than maybe Jack Youngblood, that's all I can really think of for a cheap budget pass rusher. In terms of budget defensive backs, I actually would recommend picking up Jeremy Chin. He's a 6'3" tall free safety for the Carolina Panthers, and he actually powers up to a 91 overall with 95 or 93 speed. And then if you have Panthers team, it's 95 speed, and then if you have the in the zone for the DBs, it's 97 speed. So you can potentially, on a Panthers team, have a 97 speed defensive back. Now, obviously, by this time, you can still get guys like Taylor Mays. who are cheap as well, and I would definitely recommend picking him up as well. But if you don't have, if you don't want to pick up the Taylor Mays, definitely go and get Jeremy Chin. He's really good. And then lastly, for linebackers, I would recommend picking up a field general linebacker because they can get some good abilities. Honestly, linebackers I wouldn't invest in too much unless you just want to use them. But for me personally, I recommend for a linebacker picking up somebody like, I don't want to say Luke Kuechly because he's very expensive, but Teddy Bruschetti is another one. He is for the Patriots team. He does get some good abilities. He does get things like Lurker, which is a very good ability. He also does get Secure Tackler, as I mentioned earlier, which is a very good ability as well. So, yeah, those are some budget options I would recommend for both sides. For running backs, actually, I completely forgot to talk about them. For running backs, pick up Marshawn Lynch. He's about 90K, but he actually powers up to a decent speed. He actually is a solid player, and he actually comes with some stock abilities. He comes with stock tank, balance beam, and bold bruiser. My apologies. He comes with stock tank, bruiser, and balance beam. So definitely go pick up Marshawn Lynch, to get your team started if you don't want to get Sean Alexander. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for this video. It is everything you need to know about Madden Ultimate Team in full detail, talking about things you should be doing, how to build your lineup, how to make the best of your ability points, how to make the best of your players on your scheme, what playbooks you should be running, what playbooks I would recommend. That being said, guys, after a very long video, I would appreciate it so much if you guys hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I will try to do my absolute best to break this up into time sections so that way you guys can see when we go into a specific section. So if you want to come back and watch just like lineup creation, or if you want to come back and watch just like what you should do for challenges, I can definitely put timestamps in the description, guys, to help you guys with that. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be all. I hope you guys did enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas. And here's to a Happy New Year in 2021. 2022. Until then, I'm out. Peace.